have to have a reminder around mutual respect. I wouldn't have thought that the U.S.-India relationship would ever come to this point, but I acknowledge that we're here, and I do believe that as a foundational principle, it's of critical importance. Just a couple of the other comments before some recommendations as we go forward. On the just the element of both the diaspora and the people-to-people relationship, there are occasionally moments where the depth of that is brought into full view in ways that perhaps you don't even understand, even if you're focusing on a regular basis on the relationship. For me, it was actually during COVID when the dynamics shifted very rapidly in India. The US government as an institution, as is often the case, was slow, didn't really actually know how to respond, and it was a number of people in this audience, Nisha's here, others, who activated contacts in the business community and in the diaspora communities across the United States. I have never seen, and it has hardly been documented, the most massive, rapid accumulation of humanitarian medical products that was shipped literally on a moment's notice to India. The most dramatic supply of its kind done in the private sector of modern times. Remarkably little attention, but incredible. And the depth of that, I think, is something that we have to keep in mind. The last thing I would also just say is that this is a relationship that has often been thrust forward by ambition, by stated ambition, whether it's in the nuclear arena, whether it is working more closely together on intelligence and the like. I do want to say a word. I am troubled by what we've seen over the last year, but we have to acknowledge during the first Trump administration, it was the decision by key players in the administration to provide on an urgent basis information, intelligence, and others to Indian friends at a moment of real peril along the border of the line of actual control, and tremendous respect to friends and colleagues like Matt Pottinger, who made those decisions at that time. I will also say I saw the ambition on full display myself and the possibilities. I was there, and I will tell you, despite whatever reports, I watched President Biden persuade over an hour a very reluctant Prime Minister Modi to join the Quad at the leader level. Like literally fought him to agreement to the point where he said, "I promise I'll do this if you just stop haranguing me." That was at the very first couple of months of the administration. I take you to the very end of the administration. The leading nation behind the scenes in the Quad was not the United States. It was not Australia. It was not Japan. It was India. And the momentum and the ambition of working in these unofficial channels was remarkable. And I think we have to remind ourselves of this. I also want to say that I'm not embarrassed, and I am happy to stand here and say that I believe the most important relationship for the United States in the 21st century is between the United States and India. And yes, I actually don't think it's really nothing you can't applaud something that is so far away. But you can acknowledge it, and you can try to figure out how you set your course towards it. So for me, I'm going to give you what I think is important as we go forward. And then, obviously, it'll be great to have discussions. Now, here I'm going to say something that's going to be unpopular with friends here in Hudson that lean a little bit more to the right. The diaspora in the United States is fundamentally in play politically. Now, this has been played very, very poorly by this administration. When someone has to talk about mutual respect, this is the most law-abiding, most educated, most supported group of Americans in the United States today. So what's most important for me is to affix politically the Indian American community in an environment where they are going to be supportive of pro-India relations. I just put that on my table. The party that's much more likely to do this right now is the Democratic Party. So I'm very keen to make sure that there is a deep understanding that strategically we are naturally aligned. And the most important thing is to support greater ties educationally, technologically between the United States and India.